Welcome back, guys, to Tales of Arise, where last episode we stepped into the chamber where the spirit channeling ceremony was held and viewed a message seemingly left by Naori, as Alphen and Shion were bestowed the garb that enhances the maiden and sovereign's abilities before we continued onwards in the biological-looking chambers to come across a shocking sight. With Vholran bound before us with the Rena's armor, seemingly conducting the ceremony alone with the machine he was attached to fulfilling the maiden's role, we attempted to intervene only for the Red Woman, or multiple apparitions of her to appear, transform, and attack, driving them back before Vholran awoke, with another Red Woman appearing to take the Rena's armor from him, causing his power to overflow and the chamber to explode, as we've just made our escape.
Are you two okay?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Is Vholran... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those Red Women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Rena's Alma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Vholran mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Rena's Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dahna. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Vholran to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renan's or Dahnan's.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
Not in a good way indeed. Well, we've got some more skits to view as we move onwards. Back to the starship we go. Back to Dahna yet or not? Again, it always feels like I should keep forging forward for new armory and new weapons before facing things that are still 8 levels above me.
I didn't see that coming about Vholran. As for those Red Women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Dahnan. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Doily? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Vholran, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena and Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Rena's Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
Considering it's more than one women, might be difficult. In the meantime, fast travel's been blocked again. We did reach a few new things on the board that we can get, so last shot can now be obtained, which gets the penetration plus 50 sorted out. I think Revitalize should be next, considering a higher tier healing up seems great by me. Increased boost gauge from enemy downs for Kazana. Energy restore from critical hits next for an attack 50. Strength from magic charge. I'll keep on going for that, even though we can get the other ones at this point. Increase speed G at battle start. Sounds great to me. Defense plus 50 will help you out probably quite a bit. Energy restored by perfect evading guarding. I don't know if he does too much of that. We'll go with that for now. Do you think there's troops waiting for me on the way out this time? else, I think I've dealt with the mainstay after all. Actually weird that there's nothing in the way back while disabling fast travel. Hopefully with that elemental attack up buff, Greenwell really got to sock it to him a bit. That's what I'm hoping anyhow. Too bad there wasn't a chest to the other side. Not even any R1s on the way. Nothing really exists for me to do pretty much anywhere at this point. We're nearly back in the enemy-filled corridors after all. Alia got taken away. I hope she's okay at this point. May as well grab that though. I think after a boss it gets refilled anyway. So is there something going on in Lenegis? At this juncture? Something would probably hint to yes. That's why we can't leave. Have the enemies gone away? Nope. Still these blokes.
No choice.
Engaging!
Oh.
Fluid is on!
By the power! Get it to the wind! Finish with that! How long are we gonna keep this up for?
I take a lot less damage now.
Going in!
Try harder! Not a chance! Fire support! No escape!
Here's the evil!
Rise is back in! You're finished!
I think I'm being attacked by one over there, but... How are you not dead yet, man?
Eternal devastation! My turn!
Abort! Mission!
Purge malevolence! Lunar corrupt seal!
Eternal devastation!
Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
Blah, blah, blah. Go!
Blah, blah, blah.
Going in! Make your way!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Back to our combat.
Everyone still in one piece?
Yep. I barely worked up a sweat.
I even got the grape gel bat that I'd used, and there's some goodies we can pick up over here if we fight this group too.
An opponent like this should be easy. Burn!
Light astrolabe!
So when they cam it up like that. Wait a second, the guy I targeted, the one who got away.
Between heaven and... It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
You're mine!
Like trying to keep up with a wall.
You're mine!
Hear my call.
There might be a reason for that one.
No escape!
It's too fast! Stand back. I'll trip it up.
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malita!
Here,
No escape! You're mine! Fluid, prepare to be sealed!
Been on that guy for like ages. It feels like we're not getting him down at all.
Can't get out of this!
Hey, drinking oil! More where that came from!
Here I come!
Think you can fly?
Holy Renan! A chain between heaven and earth!
Not dead after that either.
Let it rip! You're mine! Now! No escape! Eternal devastation! Raining flash! Slice! I'll burn it all! Flaming pillar! Fire!
I'll heal you all!
Take this!
Lightning orb!
No escape! Start up!
All disasters made one!
Oh yes, Meteors.
Maelstrom!
Prepare to be sealed!
Oh, a Maelstrom. Beam attack.
Pierce through!
She's got meteors. Use your meteors.
Everybody okay?
We're all right, Alphen.
Everyone should be fine. So I would have preferred you to like get nearer to level up. Those gold chunks though are very appreciated. They're both on the cusp of level 47 currently. But any more money we can get, the better. Because it's not like we've done a subquest in like ages to get the big blocks of SP/money. I miss those days. When we did subquests and we're like, oh, new skill. Oh, new skill.
Little help!
Ignite!
Don't worry, I just spam this ability forever now because look, because it can crit for 4,000. Why would I not use this ability now?
You're mine! No escape! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Blew away! Ready to fly! Blew away!
Should dodge that one.
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Get a crit.
Sleep now.
Blew away! Ignite! Blew away!
The more of those slashes I get, the better. Really, while I use that ability, I'm just hoping to lock it down long enough that Rinwell wrecks it with various spells, you know? Not so much about my damage.
I'll take you all on.
Definitely more about Rinwell.
Hurricane strike! Lunar blast! Thermal field! Now! Rinwell! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Well then, let's keep moving.
Cake the battlefield. Give me experience, but the more I level up, the less experience I'm getting from each of these fights.
In a bind? Prepare to be sealed!
Oh my god, the whole group! Maybe I should be using this.
I can carve through it!
Thank you.
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! My turn!
Oh, sparkling stars of light!
You're mine!
Rain down and purify
Stardust!
all!
Void flash! Rising falcon!
Make it rain!
Dohalim! This one's got
Quite a nice combo.
Ashes to ashes!
Oh, violent stars!
Hurricane!
Brilliant!
Escape!
This one's
Lightning
mine!
thrust!
Wilson! A
Void
change between
flash!
heaven and earth!
Rising falcon!
Wheel it now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Oh yeah. Hey, Kasara's just a Mystic Arts machine now.
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
Level 47. Nice.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegis is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
I mean, you do have the Sovereign too.
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Elda Menancia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Timing. What timing?
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, A new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept turn against death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
I feel like Alphen doesn't realize the way things are going and that his position might be somewhere as important or more important in the end of getting roles of just how he's known on Dahna, etc. He might have a hell of a lot of work on his plate too. Renan leader. That's taking charge of the situation and relieving the people of Lenegis of their fear. William stands tall, no longer burdened by his past. He has a new skill, Ground Dasher, an advanced earth art that gushes rocks out of an earth fissure. What are we currently doing? We were currently going for the penetration 40. But improved healing arts is here, so I think I might change this to this side, get the Ground Dasher, and then go for improved healing arts then. As a preference.
Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
We're all gonna take the credit, yay!
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
Now we have another skit, wiping the slate.
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
And leaving the nest as well.
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
Tons of skits.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
And a ranch that must be checked in on. Yes, okay. We've raised some livestock. Lovely pigs, cows, horses, and morses. Just collecting meat that I don't even seem to really even use when you think about it. Pig. Sheep and horses. They don't have chickens anymore. They went out of fashion. It's too standard of meat. Horse. By the way, I did notice in between while I was doing the grinding that if you get a create accessory now, there's actually this new option called transfer skill, where you could supposedly transfer like something over to other pieces of gear depending on what you have, and you can move it into certain slots, etc. So you can actually just build your best kind of attachment. So we could build an even better one in time for a certain someone. Though it looks like you need to get like a level 5 one and then start moving skills in, and you can only move what the tutorial said as well. Only one skill at a time. Which is a bit of a... More than one skill. Give me more. So even if you might want more elemental attack, I've got to wait till I get like level 5 ones and then go from there. I'll excel for a little bit of stuff here. So first of all, we've got to get a level 5 with somewhere near some good stuff, and then we can go from there. Meanwhile, in diamond gear, no gear there is new. And nothing is new on the forge side of things. So I do wonder if I want to keep on keeping on. For certain reasons. To just see if I can get more armor and stuff. Oh, Lord Dohalim. But then I want to go back, and there's skits waiting for us on Dahna. There's quests still waiting for us on Dahna, of course. But I can't fast travel, so I can't go back no matter what. The forward path it is. Ah, Lord Dohly, what a splendid fellow he is. I met him once as a kid. He was a completely different person back then. I'm still shaken up by his speech. What he said was practically a denial of the order that the Lord and Sovereigns are supposed to stand for. Well, that's all it was. What a relief to know. I've seen a lot in my old age, but even I would never imagine there'd be a Lord who would end up saving the day for Lenegis. It's going to take time for the residential quarters to repair, but at least for now the city is calm again. Still, see him taking charge instead of the Sovereign. Perhaps he's the winner of the crown contest this time round. Yes, people would make assumptions. His Lordship assures that there's nothing to worry about. It's good enough for me. I guess Alfred could show his Sovereign's crest at any time. But who's to say, of course, that they've ever seen it? They've probably never seen the actual Sovereign before. After all, don't know if they just shown up the crest, even though it seemed to be an identifier for the Lords. There's been a lot of damage, but now that the power's back, I'm hopeful that things are going to be okay. His Excellency Lord Dohly urged us all to work together. We should think about what we can do to help the city. We have been having a massive chunk of story. Why, you saying you missed the fishing and subquests? Just like that, Lord Dohly managed to completely dispel people's fears. That's what makes him a lord. Yeah, nobody will think twice about trying to pull anything funny now. He's so wonderful. It would be nice if his Excellency remained so that he could continue to lead and guide us. Well, he'll be back. Remaining just now is not what he's going to be doing.